Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you guys. We'll start here in just a moment. Oh, it looks like I have video. Yay! We are live on YouTube as well. Hey Heather, how are you doing? Okay, my friends. Oh, we'll give it another minute or two for folks to come in. YouTube just turned on. Give it a minute. I'm so excited. I rearranged my house yesterday, which if you guys know me at all, that is one of my favorite tasks in the entire world. I might even go show you guys but you wouldn't even understand because of how a mess this was. We moved out of this house this summer into the camper because they were selling it. So, hey friends, how you doing? Hey Vada. Oh my God. So I'm feeling really good about that up here, but really not down here. So we're going to take our time getting into this today. I need to move my coffee out of the way because we are going to move side to side. So if you would like to join me for class. Okay, I will show the rearrange then afterwards. All right. I'm already sweating. I'm already getting excited. Find yourself a place to put your butt. It can be the edge of your bed. It can be a rickety chair like this, as long as it's stable enough that it's not going to break underneath you or you're not going to slip off the edge when you come to the edge of the seat. It can even be a recliner. I have done this class in a recliner. It was actually how this class started. Somebody asked if we could do chair yoga from a recliner. And I was like, heck yeah, we can. So that's where that was the first iteration of tiny yoga. That's so funny. I totally forgot about that. Find the edge of your seat. It could be, like I said, the edge of your bed. It could be a park bench if you're out somewhere. Hopefully it's not raining, but hey, that might be really nice too. All right. Find the edge of your seat. Bring your knees to shoulder width apart. Stack the ankles right underneath them. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your feet into the ground. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths to fully arrive here for our practice. Go ahead and close your eyes if it feels comfortable to do so. You don't have to. Remember to modify any sort of direction that I give in this class. If it's not comfortable for you or you want something different, feel free to follow your needs. You are your own guru, right? I have to move the couch, the bed is too high. Okay, we'll wait, Vana. If you'd like to close your eyes, go ahead and do so. And let's take those 3 deep breaths. Begin first by inhaling the breath through the nose, pulling it through the lungs and all the way down into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And let it go. Inhale once more, this time lifting the heart and lifting through the top of the head to elongate the spine. Exhale, gently tucking the chin, letting the shoulder blades melt down the back. Wiggle into your posture. Seal the lips and just take a moment to follow the breath. Following the inhale all the way to the top. Following the exhale all the way to the bottom. I like to think of the breath sometimes as maybe a metronome, right? Or some sort of hypnosis thing here, swinging, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, or something that's going up and down. Sometimes let it soothe you, let it hypnotize you into this lulled state, relaxing the muscles in your body, pulling in all the tendrils of your awareness. Bring your hearing all the way into this room with your eyes closed. Bring your vision within. Feel into the sensations in your body, being fully present, curious, and willing. Whenever you're ready to begin, go ahead and start with the neck. Inhale the chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale the chin down. Take your time. We're not intending to pop the neck. Inhale up. We're just warming the muscles. Exhale down. Nice and slow. Take your time. This is not about outpacing anybody or going fast. Come back to neutral. This is about being present, being willing to slow down enough to be with your experience. Inhale. Exhale, turn the head to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop the chin down and go ahead and rotate the head one direction. Take your time, nice and slow. See if you can rotate the neck without any of those snap, crackles, and pops. One direction, couple times. And when your chin comes back down to your chest, switch directions. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed, the back nice and relaxed, jaw relaxed. And when your chin comes down to the chest again, inhale back up to neutral. You can keep your eyes closed for as long as you want. You can open them whenever you're ready. Go ahead and start rolling the shoulders up and back. Really try to isolate the shoulders. You can rest your hands on your thighs. You can even rest your arms by your sides. Wiggle them loose if you'd like to do that. And just keep them as loosey-goosey as you can. Mine only snaps, right? Mine too, hon. One direction and then the other. Squeeze the shoulders up to your ears, nice and tight, really high. And exhale, release them with a ha. Inhale up, nice and tight. Release them with a ha. One more. Inhale them all the way up, nice and tight. And release them with a ha. Shake it out. Go ahead and grab the side of your chair or reach your left hand across to grab the outside of your right thigh. Inhale your right arm out and up, sweeping it overhead, keeping the torso nice and long. Bend down to the left for a side stretch. Go ahead and gaze past that elbow, that upper arm up towards the ceiling. Try not to offend yourself with your armpit. Big deep breaths. Inhale back up and release the arm. Other side, reach the other hand across, or again, just hold on to your chair. Reach your right hand to the left thigh. Inhale that left arm, sweeping it out beside you, up overhead. Lengthen the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Nice little side stretch, gazing up towards the ceiling. Oh, big deep breaths. Inhale back up and release the arm. Rest the palms on the thighs. I like to reach out for my knees. We're going to do some cat-cow. We start small with our cat-cows and we're going to work into a deeper and deeper one. Inhale, sending the chin up, chest forward just a little bit, right? Tip your tailbone back as if you're going to wag your tail. Go ahead and give your tail a little bit of a wag for a second just to loosen up those hips. Little cow here. Exhale, tuck the chin down to the chest, roll the spine back and tuck the tailbone back in. Cat or sad puppy. Inhale, a little bit bigger this time. Send the heart forward, lift the chin, tip that tailbone back, wag your tail. And exhale, tuck the chin, curl the spine back, tuck the tailbone a little bit deeper. Inhale forward, lift the chin, full spine. Exhale back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Really get into the back body. One more time. Inhale forward. Big open chest. Exhale back. Juicy. Come back to neutral. Give yourself some wiggles. Bring the palms together at the heart. Send them straight up overhead towards the sky. Check with your knees. Make sure they're still shoulder width apart. If not, please adjust. Lengthen the spine by lifting through the top of the head. Inhale. Exhale as you turn the torso to one side. You pick your side. Once you find the full extension of your torso, release the arms, opening the front arm to the outside of the front of the knees and the back arm to the back of your chair or your bed or your couch, wherever you're at. Big deep breaths here. On your next exhale, twist a little deeper, gazing back behind you, looking for those back fingers, keeping the knees facing forward. If you need to check the posture. Nice long spine. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come back out. Please do not slingshot yourself forward. Hey, Wellness Integrated Solutions, how are you this morning? We've just gotten in about maybe 5-6 minutes, so you're great. You got good timing here. Bring your palms together at the heart. We're going to do the same thing. Send the hands up towards the sky. Lengthen the spine by lifting through the top of the head, reaching up high. Really elongate through the sides, through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Twist to the other side. Find the extension of your twist. Then open the arms. Front hand to the outside of the knee. Back hand behind you. Check your knees, make sure they're shoulder width apart. You really want to try to keep the hips shoulder width, or the hips squared off here. Inhale. Exhale, gaze to the back. Look for those fingers behind you. Wiggle your fingers behind you. Lengthen through the top of the head. Nice long spine. Breathe. Inhale again. Slowly exhale back out without a slingshot, my friend. Those are good, aren't they? Aren't those good? Okay, so now we're going to do hip lifts, but we're going to move the feet with it. So we're going to point the right toe, and as you point the right toe, also lift the right butt cheek off the right hip, off the chair. Drop the right heel back down, point the left toe, lift the left cheek off the chair. Back and forth. Point the right toe, lift the right hip, point the left toe, lift the left hip. Hey, Juliana, how are you? Right, left, right, left. Back to neutral. Give yourself little torso circles here. Go one direction using your tailbone like a spoon in your pelvis. Stir all of those Renanabanda. Stir all of that junk out, up. We're going to move it out of here. Other direction. Ooh, I like those little torso circles. Little hip movement. Come back to center. I'm going to do a little bit of a flow here. Interlace your fingers under your right thigh. Pull the thigh up, lifting all the way up to the chest. Hug into the chest, lengthen the spine. Inhale. Exhale, kiss the knee, whisper sweet nothings to your knee. Thank it so much for all the flexibility and support. Inhale, back up, lengthen the spine. Then open that right thigh as far as you can. If you can get a nice 90-degree angle, fantastic. If not, find what's comfortable for you. Then release the front leg. Lengthen that front leg. And we're going to take the left hand, slide down the left leg as far as you can. Twist the torso, opening towards to the side of the room. Take your right arm and sweep overhead for another side stretch. Oh, really good. Take your time here in gate. Breathe. Gaze up towards the ceiling as you lean back into the twist. Inhale, slowly come up. Bring that left leg back and the right leg back to neutral. Wipe your knees back and forth, and we're going to do that again on the other side. That's why we need chair yoga about it. That's why we all need chair yoga, right? All right, we're going to go do gate on the other side. Interlace your fingers underneath your left thigh. Inhale, pull it all the way up to your chest. Hug it nice and deep. Give it a nice good squeeze. Lengthen your spine. Inhale. Exhale, kiss the knee. Whisper sweet nothings. Thank you so much for being flexible and supporting me and doing all kinds of cool yoga poses. Inhale, lengthen the spine again, and bring that left leg open as far as you can to the side. Extend the right leg out. Let your right hand slide down the leg for gate. Turn the torso, opening up to the side, and sweep that left arm overhead for another side stretch. Nice little twist here. Breathe, gazing towards the ceiling. Nice and deep into the low back and the hip. Inhale, slowly come back up. Bend that right leg and come back to neutral. Wipe the knees again, back and forth. Just drop them back and forth. Go ahead and release the feet too. Rolling the feet side to side, knees back and forth. You can hold onto your chair if you need to so you don't slide onto the floor. Come back to neutral. This time, point your toes and tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe both of those feet all the way over towards the side of your chair. If you're on the couch, if you're on the couch and you can't go quite that way, that's okay. You can still get as far as you can to the side. Drop the heels down and slide the left leg back. Slide the toes all the way back. We're going to go for a high lunge. So just push that left leg as far back as you can. Find a nice seated high lunge. You can stay here with your side of your hip on your seat. If you're feeling brave today, you can inhale those hands up and lift off your seat. I'm going to stay on my seat. If you'd like to get off your seat, you are more than welcome to, but my legs are so sore. Either way, bring those hands up, reaching up towards the sky, lengthening through the spine, dropping into that left hip. Take a few breaths here, nice and strong. Keep those shoulders down so you're not closing the ears. Inhale again. And as you exhale, drop the back foot, turning the toes out to a 90-degree angle and opening the arms for warrior two. Again, you can stay on your seat or you can lift out of your chair. There you go, and Ottoman is really good for that. There you go, Hannah. Breathe here. Strong arms, nice long spine, opening into the hips. Inhale. Exhale, release the arms and walk back to center. Wipe the knees again, and we're going to do the other side. I'm off screen a little bit here, sorry guys. Okay. Go ahead and point your toes and tiptoe, 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 tiptoe up to the other side. to face the side of your chair or couch. Find the edge of your chair so you got a cheek hanging off, as long as it's stable enough to do so. Point the right toe, slide that right foot back for a nice high lunge. Stretch, reaching to the back, stabilizing yourself with a nice 90-degree angle here in the front leg. Again, sweep those arms up overhead, reaching towards the sky. Drop the shoulders so you're not closing up the ears. Nice long spine. And you can stay here on your chair, or you can lift if you'd like a little bit of extra today. I'm going to stay on my chair. Take a few deep breaths here. Dropping into that right hip. Oh, that feels nice. Every movement, every pose with intention. Fill your body from the tip of your head to the tips of your toes with intention. Make sure there's not a part of your body that's just forgotten. I don't know how else to say that. Inhale. Exhale, drop that back heel down to a 90-degree, so your toes are pointing forward, excuse me. Turn the torso, open the arms for warrior two. Again, you can stay in your chair or you can lift off your chair. Strong arms, strong legs, opening in the hip, gazing towards those front fingers. Reaching even through your armpits. Bring intention to this reach through the tips of your fingers. Reach. Inhale. Exhale, release the arms, release the legs, and come to center. Wipe both knees back and forth. And go ahead and extend both legs, flexing the feet. So you're pulling the toes back towards you. Inhale, lengthen the spine through the top of the head. Nice long spine. You can rest your thighs on your leg, or rest your hands on your thighs, or you can reach up if you'd like to. I'm going to go nice and easy on my body today. So inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, slowly folding from the hips. Keeping that nice long spine. Going down into your fold as far as is available to you. See if you can reach for your toes. Once you find that full extension, release the shoulders and neck and let them hang. Spend a few moments here, a couple of breaths. Stretching into the back of the legs. Take your left hand and reach across to the outside of your right foot or right leg. Inhale, drag your right hand all the way from the left hand up the arm, across the chest. Give yourself a nice little pet and reach up towards the sky behind you. Opening the upper body into the twist. Breathe. On the next exhale, slowly come back down. Release into your fold for a moment. Keep those feet flexed. Then reach across, this time right hand to left leg or left foot. Take that left hand from the right hand and drag across the arm, chest, all the way up towards the ceiling with a twist, and lean back a little bit to breathe, open up the chest. Inhale, exhale, slowly release back down. Release the head, neck, shoulders as you begin to slowly roll up from the base of the spine, one vertebra at a time. Take all the time you need. Lifting through the top of the head. When you reach, seated again, rolling the shoulders back open. Go ahead and bring the feet back to neutral. Both feet planted on the ground. Ankles underneath the knees. Knees shoulder width apart. Where are we at? Let's do a couple of cat-cows here to close our practice. We got a couple more things here before we close our practice, and we'll practice our mudra. So do a couple of cat-cows, as big or as little as you feel you need right now. Notice the difference. We started our flow with cat-cows. Notice the difference in the mobility, flexibility, freedom available to your upper body, to your spine now. Come to neutral. Couple of side stretches, same thing. Watch for the difference. Watch for the quality of the body now. Reach across with the left hand to the right thigh. Take the right hand, sweep it out to the side, up overhead, lengthen through the top of the head, reach towards the ceiling, and exhale for a little side stretch. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the arm. Right hand, the left thigh. Inhale, that left arm sweeping out towards the side, up overhead, lengthen through the top of the head, keeping the shoulder down so you're not closing your ear up. Inhale, exhale, little side stretch here, or more if you need it. Inhale, back up. Exhale, release. Moving into the shoulders, rolling the shoulders one direction. Keeping the spine nice and long, lifting through the top of the head, sending the tailbone down into the earth, keeping the feet nice and grounded. And switch directions. Oh. My shoulders feel so much better than when we started. Release the shoulders, and then we're going to do some isometric neck exercises. So instead of rolling the neck this time, we're going to strengthen the neck just a little bit. So we do these by lengthening the neck, right? Let's find our posture here. Lengthen through the top of the head. Imagine that there is a string hanging from the very top of your head, and you're hanging down from that string. That string pulls you just barely off your seat, right? So you're not grounded on anything. You've got this string that you're hanging right here, keeping you upright, reaching up, pulling up towards the sky. Gently tuck the chin to bring intention to the posture. Relax the shoulders. Give your elbows a little bit of a wiggle. Relax the back. Now, keeping the neck strong, keeping the head where it is, we're going to press 5 times on the front, each side, and the back. What this does is help strengthen the neck muscles without a bunch of pressure or, I can't find my words this morning, so let's just do it. Take whichever hand works for you. Press on your forehead, not too hard, but you want to keep your head where it is, and just press with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax the neck. Bringing the hand to the back. Now again, keep the neck where it is. Hold the neck where it is. And press on the back of the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax the muscles in the neck. Relax the shoulders. Notice any tension that's built in the jaw, neck, shoulders, body. Release it. And then one side, either side works. Please don't press on your temple. Make sure you're pressing on the hard part of your head, your skull here. With a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. It's amazing what a tiny little movement can do for us. Other side, again, just 5, pressing into the hard part of your head, not your temple. Hold your neck where it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. relax. Release any tension remaining. We're going to close our practice by holding our mudra for the week. So before we close our eyes, here is the mudra. If you don't already have it, this is the Matangi or Matangi mudra. I've heard it said both ways. So it goes like this. Bring your palms together, keeping the middle fingers touching. Interlace the last two fingers, the pinky and the ring, and then with your index and your thumb, create two interlocking circles. Just close them together to touch the tip of the index and the thumb together. It doesn't matter which one's on top, although traditionally it is the left on top. I have seen it with the left only on top. Then we bring this in to our solar plexus. Hold this however feels comfortable for you. You may not be able to hold it up like this. It may cause a lot of tension to do so. If you're holding it in a position that is causing you a bunch of tension, you're not going to be able to hold it as long. So adjust as needed. Make sure that you can hold the mudra within tension without creating tension, which causes pain, which creates our suffering. All right. I'm not laughing at suffering, I'm laughing at my own. Okay. Once you've got your mudra, anybody need the mudra one last time before we settle in? Good. Go ahead and close your eyes, and we're going to, yes, okay, here we go. One more time. I was about to close my eyes. Good catch. All right, bring your palms together. Touch your middle fingers together. Keep those middle fingers there. Hey, Brian, happy Friday. Keep those middle fingers touching. Interlace the last two, that's the ring and the pinky, right? Just like you're folding your hands. And then create two interlocking circles with the index and the thumb. So with your palms together, all you're going to do is connect the index to the thumb. Find whatever adjustments you need. You can open the palms a little bit, shift your circles around a little bit, loosen up your fingers so that you can hold this mudra. If you can't get into this mudra, you can always just hold the Gyan mudra. Or any other mudra, honestly, that you really want to for practice. But this is the one we are learning about this week. This one, bring it here to the solar plexus. This is a really cool one because this mudra improves diaphragmatic breathing, strengthens the lungs, and supports the respiratory system. Also supports the upper digestive system, and is said to help us understand our inner truth with more clarity. And it's specifically noted that this, used regularly, can cultivate superpowers. So make sure you use it regularly. Go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths to fully get back into this juicy inner space, our expansive inner cosmos. Inhale, pulling the breath through the lungs and into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, lifting the heart and lifting through the top of the head to elongate the spine. Exhale, melting the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale once more, this time expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And let it go. Seal the lips. Go ahead and follow the breath for a few moments, inhaling, following the breath to the top, exhaling, following the breath to the bottom. In this moment, we are releasing any other distraction, any thought, any sensation. We're just coming in to be with our inner experience. Choose your anchor. It can be the feeling of your feet on the ground. It can be the sound of your breath. It could be the sensation of the mudra. It could be just focusing your attention on the tip of your nose. Whatever your anchor is, rest your attention gently on that thing. Anytime you notice your attention has wandered away from this anchor, just gently bring it back. This is the most important part of mindfulness, of meditation, of cultivating our awareness and our intention. So it doesn't matter how many times that you bring your attention back to the anchor. I encourage you to do it with curiosity and willingness at the very least, if not compassion and love. We can't always muster love and compassion for ourselves, but we can at least be curious. We can at least be willing to come back to center again and again and again. Let everything else fall away. We're only going to sit for 5 minutes, but please make sure that you are releasing tension in your system. It's not about being perfectly still or perfectly peaceful. It's about being present with the process. Inhale the present moment, exhale tension. Stay with it. If your mind is exceptionally busy, I invite you to offer a gentle smile. A smile of gratitude for the opportunity to redirect our attention as many times as it takes to be with the practice process. Go ahead and take a big, deep breath in. Exhale completely. You can stay here as long as you would like. When you're ready to close your practice, I invite you to bring your hands together into prayer, or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for the practice, in gratitude for the space, in gratitude for the tools, the asanas, the chair, the mudras, the prana, always flowing through the path of least resistance to bring you to your highest good in every single moment. Offer yourself gratitude for taking the time for self-care today. Fuck yeah. I'm so proud of you, and I hope you are too. And thank you so much for joining me in our CAYA space where we can learn and grow and thrive together. When you're ready to close your meditation, I invite you to rub your palms together and cup them over your eyes, fluttering your eyes open to ease the transition back to the matrix. I needed that. Hi. No, Matrix. Ah! That's why I like meditation, because then I can just be like, no, I'm not. I'm going to skip the Matrix today. I'm just going to spend my day meditating. Welcome in, everybody. Everybody just joining. We just finished practice, but remember, there are replays on YouTube. Yay! That was some juicy stuff, right? That's all my pirates kept saying in my head. In the head was like, oh, juicy. Ooh, yeah. Hey, Bishop, how are you? We're over here causing chaos. Just started to perk up. I was surprised to see you just roll in, my friend. I know you said you were going to go back to sleep. Did you get a nap? Mike kept saying yummy. So, I have to say, one thing I really like about this mudra, the Matangi or Matangi mudra, is the mudra for authenticity. It's the mudra for authenticity. And what I find really, really cool is that the mudra for authenticity is one of the few mudras that is specifically saying this gives you superpowers. Essentially what it's saying is that through cultivating and experiencing and being in your authentic self, you have those superpowers of self-actualization. Self-actualization looks like being aligned with the things that are for us, our frequency, that are aligned and resonate with us, right? That's how we manifest. That's how we find centeredness. That's how we find inner strength. That's how we find peace, is by finding the alignment of ourselves with the universe. And that's what self-actualization is. And through that, then you get the uber yogi, so the superpowers. Well, not just the yogi ones. You have to do other things for the yogi ones too. But this mudra gives you the superpowers of authenticity, of manifestation. Oh, what'd you say there, Bishop? Chaos is king, magic is loose in the world. Vada, enjoy your nap. Nice, today might be a nappy kind of day. Trying to read all my water bottle stickers. You know, it's such a funny story, a sweet story about this, really, because this is not my normal, right? You guys notice that this is not my teach roll, right? And the practice of putting stickers on a water bottle has actually always been really, it really agitates my Virgo. Right? The Virgo in there, and the misaligned, let me say the mispurposed energy of Virgo is too particular, is too orderly to fill a water bottle with a bunch of stickers. I'm serious. Like, in the back of my head, when I see water bottles with a bunch of stickers on them, my inner Virgo goes, ugh. How can you wash it? How do you, like, then the stickers all start to fall off, and then you have to peel them off, and then you get the nasty, broken, sticky stuff. I just can't, I don't even. Is this exposure therapy? This was a gift. Someone sent me a gift. And I decided to allow my inner child the opportunity to experiment. Could I do this and be okay with it? I will say that I'm really grateful that all the stickers were so fantastic, because this individual did send me some very particular stickers, right? They hit the nail on the head. You want to read them? There you go. Heather, yay! Top coat nail polish, case stickers on and stuff. Nice. So yeah, it is. It's exposure therapy, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to let my inner child play. In fact, I want to just shout out to several members of this community, of the community here that we have, that have been encouraging my inner child, that have been not just like saying, yeah, go play, but like sending me stuff, telling me to play, reminding me all the time, encouraging me, sending me gifts and memes and things that are just like, you guys are just the best. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your encouragement, for your playfulness, for your willingness to be playful with me. It's one of those parts of me that has always been vilified, right? Oh, it's silly. It's quit. Take it too serious. Take it more seriously. And I had that inner Virgo is like, yeah, we're going to take everything very seriously. But now I dance on my porch. Now I hula hoop in the dark, in the rain. Hey, Elle. You made it. You're taking a break from recording? Good. Well, class, we just finished our flow, so the replay will be on YouTube. Remember, my replays for classes are on YouTube, but right now we only have Tiny Yoga live on social media. So that's the only class that you've got in the replays there. We do have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a 30-minute Zoom class. It's still free. The only reason I pulled it into Zoom is because I'm tired of dealing with the social media algorithm nonsense and the false violation stuff and all that. I am not interested in wasting my energy fighting that kind of stuff. Instead, we can cultivate a more intentional space over there in Zoom. So if you'd like to join us Monday through Thursday, no pressure. When you come into the Zoom, your video is off and your mic is off. So don't worry about coming in at any point. You won't disturb anybody. Second, there's no pressure to respond. There's no pressure to talk. There's no pressure to share. You can type in the chat if you want to, but there's no pressure at all. You can just come to class, enjoy the practice, and then go about your merry way. A lot like this here, right? So I don't want you to feel pressured by coming into Zoom. I know a lot of people are like, eh. Yay! Tiny Unico's morning coffee equals time to go. Have a great day. So the free link to get into the Zoom call is both in the Discord space and on Patreon. I'm patreon.com/movewithchange. The link is right there. Free to join. Go ahead and grab yourself a free membership. You can join as a free member on Patreon too. That way you keep updated. I will put more content over there if I can. I'm trying to figure out how to use Patreon properly. But they only let me upload 2-minute videos, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work because we make a lot more content. So just FYI, next year the schedule actually is probably going to stay really similar. We're going to keep those Monday through Thursday classes. So if you want to continue practicing with us, go get the Zoom link. Join on Patreon for free, or grab a membership if you'd like to, or come to Discord and you can have the link. It's posted there every single day. The one thing I do ask, thank you for the follow, the one thing I do ask is that you register for the class. So what that means is just putting your email address in. I will not use anyone's email address for anything unless I ask, which means that you will one day maybe get an email from me that says, hey, I'd like to start a newsletter. Would you like to opt in or out, right? I'm never going to spam you. The only reason I do that is so we can cultivate a slightly safer, right, more inclusive space over there on Zoom. You guys can hear the rain? Oh, I'm so glad. I was wondering if you'd be able to. Okay, so that's free. And then we will also still have Tiny Yoga, because I really love doing this one live, and I have a bunch, I've been handing it out like to people local too. I still struggle to get out of my house to go teach a class in town, so this is my next best thing. So Tiny Yoga will remain Tiny Yoga on Fridays until, I don't know, a wild hair happens and things change, but I doubt it because this is such a good spot. So next year, I'm going to be inundating you with as much content as I can in regard to the energy body. Remember that next year we're going to go through the entire layers, all the layers of the energy body, in and out. We're going to start in January with the aura, and The aura and mind mapping, or at least your the triggers and energy patterns. That's the word I'm looking for. The aura and energy patterns. In February, we're going to move inward to the koshas and to the elements and energy channels in the body. In March, we're going to talk about the earth stars, the lower chakras. Then in April, we're going to start with the root, and we're going to work our way all the way up to the crown, and that gets us to November. And then in December, I have something really, really exciting, and I'm really terrible about keeping secrets because I really like to tell people when I'm excited about something. I like to share what I'm excited about, obviously. So I'm going to see if I can keep it a secret next year. But if you're in the Discord, you're probably going to hear me talking about it. So come join in the Discord if you want to hear the secrets that I'm keeping. Otherwise, just stay tuned. So what we're doing each month as we cover each layer of the energy body, I'm gonna throw at you mudras, mantras, asanas, affirmations, herbs and stones, recipes, nutrition tips, what the heck else? Visualizations, sound frequencies, energy healing techniques, as well as Reiki hand positions. All of that stuff is going to be packed into next year, into each month, so that each month you get a massive basket of tools to align, heal, clarify, and work with that layer of the self. Why am I doing this? Why do I share this stuff for free? Because knowledge is power. And one of the most powerful things that we can learn is how our systems work. Hey, Jay Falcon, how are you? Is how to heal and align our systems on our own. How to move our energy in ways that bring us inner peace or strength, or just out of that frickin' trigger habit thing, out of those codependent relationships, because we can learn how to manage our energy on our own. Good to see you too. When I was little, I wanted to save the world. I wished I could do one big sweeping thing to save the world. And I realized very quickly that that was not something I could do. I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought that I could do it there. Then I wanted to be a doctor. Then I wanted to be president. I wanted to be all these different things. I still might run for president. We'll see. But I tried, as many of us do in the healing profession, to push healing on others, to push people to grow. Okay, thank you, Vada. In my own imbalance, even though I wanted to heal the world, even though I wanted to work with people, and I did work with people in a way that was productive and helpful, it was also out of my own imbalance. It was also in my own energy patterns, in my own trigger habits that were actually unhealthy. And I was pushing that out and creating these, these patterns of, for example, right? I give and I give and I give, but nobody gives back. Do you know what that is? That's energy imbalance. Hold on. I had to drag the puzzle piece. Uh-oh, did we get flagged for saying that I'm going to be president? Uh-oh, we're going to have a hate speech violation because I said that. But I'll do it. Thank you, Jade Felton. Oh God, you guys are like, yes, I'll help, let's do it. All right, well, we've got 4 years to plan it out, so get into the Discord and we'll talk about it. So, all of those years, right, of thinking I was doing healing work, and I was. I can't say that I wasn't entirely. But I was still stuck in the patterns of frustration, patterns of pain, patterns of suffering, patterns of pulling other people's energy to try to satisfy a need that my energy body has. Why? Just I can't say that word on TikTok either. Just not knowing. Just not knowing. So I realized that the most powerful thing that I could possibly do is to give you all the tools that walked me out of that way of being, that helped me shift my energy and learn how to use my energy in a way that cultivates trust with myself, that cultivates a sense of inner strength, that cultivates a sense of being able to satisfy every need that I have. Now, I'm not perfectly there yet, right? Don't get it twisted. I am not healed. I am not all done, but I appreciate the lifelong journey. And in the last couple of years, really applying these tools with honesty, right? And intention, I've made strides that I didn't think were possible. And that's why I share this stuff for free. Because if it can change my life like this, then everybody should have access to it. And the fact that it's talked about like, oh, if you're, an American using Eastern techniques, well, then you're cultural appropriation. Or you need to be a highly skilled guru to be able to do these things, right? Yes, there are some practices like that. However, my pirates just got upset. They're like, nobody owns information. It should be free. And I spent thousands of dollars and many, many years going and researching this stuff, practicing this stuff, finding the information, because I knew it would help. But in my own ignorance, in my own imbalance, in my own need to heal and grow, I wasn't applying it. Classic, right? I had all of this info. I had all of this information that I had gone to years of schooling for, years of workshops and practices and reading and studying and all this stuff. It's all up here. And I felt so big and smart. Until I started to look for my inner guru. Until I found my inner captain. It was just information. It was finding my inner captain, my inner guru, that helped me distill the information from here into practice, into integration, into understanding, inner standing. Mellow cookie, do as I say, not as I do. Sounds like what we experienced growing up. Yeah. But it didn't bring me my healing. Didn't bring me my healing. It was through the willingness and curiosity, a radical kind of willingness. Can you imagine being willing to sit in your anger without weaponizing it? Can you imagine being able to sit with grief without it overwhelming you? Now, I'm not saying that happens every time, right? Like I said, I'm still growing, still applying, still practicing. Taking a moment, and I encourage you to take a moment, close your eyes, bring your hand to your heart, and offer yourself love and gratitude for all of the mistakes, all of the confusion, all of the fuck-ups, all of the shitty things, all of the learning and growing that you needed to do. Why? Because you get to fall in love with yourself now because you forgot how to love yourself. You get to walk yourself home because you left the safety of home. You get to meet yourself again every day because you forgot who you were. And that is a gift. For that, I am grateful. You're beautiful, it's true. I saw your face. Sorry. Pirate singing. Today is your birthday, blind woman. Happy birthday. They say it's your birthday. Oh, let me see. Today is my birthday, and I'm asking everyone to show yourself today. You are your own true love. Yes. Really, it seems so trite. Oh, guys, I need to put a timer on so that I can wake up my kiddo for his class. I got my handy dandy fancy timer, so you guys have to help me watch, okay? We've got about an hour before he starts class. So this is an hour-long timer, isn't it so pretty? Sorry, I like my little thrifted treasures. If you guys will keep an eye on that for me. YouTube, you can't see it. Darn it. Here, let's get on the floor. Tired of that rickety old chair. Let's show you guys my new meditation pillow. My son got this for me for the holidays. Oh. Okay, make sure you can still see the timer. Hi, my dog. Hello. Did you come to lay down? Did you come? Oh, hi. Hello. Did you hear me get down on the floor? You're so funny. Hold on. Dog needs hugs. I love him. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. You can't sit in my lap, though. You don't fit anymore. Not quite. All right. So, I do also want to say, hey, he's such a good boy. He's such a good dog. So I do want to say as well, I have a ton of content that I want to create and share next year. And I am looking for a handful of people who would like to assist me in creating this content and managing the sharing of said content. I am willing to trade services for this. So if you have some time and you'd like to support sharing free educational content that's effective and useful, then reach out to me. Send me a message either here on TikTok, on YouTube, or come into the Discord or drop me a message on Patreon. You can also email me at movewithchange@gmail.com. If you have any editing skills, or social media management stuff skills, give me a ring. Send me a message. Let me know. I'm glad you're back, Gigi. We're watching the timer because my son has a class at noon, which is under an hour. So we can't actually let the timer go completely out. I'm just so excited for next year. I'm so excited for next year. I'm just gonna, I just keep telling you guys the same thing over and over again. But I already have listed out all of the mudras for next year. All of the pranayama techniques that we're gonna use next year. I'm gonna be making templates so that I can record the videos, record the asanas. Heck, You know, like, oof. Oh, Vada, you already went and took a nap, huh? If there's any other yogis in here, right, and you guys want to help actually create the content, or any other teachers in here, or anybody else who wants to help create the content, like actually like video themselves doing the content, it doesn't have to be my face. It's just about sharing the information. 2025 is our year. Yes, 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 yes. You are still here. I thought you were going to nap. But, you know, if you wanted to like do some videos with asanas, right? I have a whole list of asanas for each layer of the energy body that we're going to talk about next year. And if you help me with the content, you'll be privy to my December secret. You can't nap. I'm not a napper either. If I fall asleep in the middle of the day and I have to get back up, it throws everything off. I don't feel in my body. It's really weird. It's really weird. I don't like it. I'd rather just sleep. If I fall asleep at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm probably going to be down until 8 o'clock the next day. You're starting to create a course? Please talk to me. Let's chat about that, because that's what I've been doing. So, I'm actually thinking about going over to, okay, so actually I'd like to throw this out for you guys. And let me know what you think. You have a big thing coming too for the first thing in my life. Yes. So there is, you guys know I like doing, right, free classes and sharing the content for free. My son takes some classes from a platform called OutSchool. I don't know if you've heard of OutSchool, but I think it's mostly kids stuff, but I think there's some adult stuff too. There's definitely teen stuff. It's a educational platform, right, for extracurricular or homeschool kind of core curriculum stuff too. And I was considering throwing some classes up there as a way to reach a larger audience, you know, possibly offer some kids yoga kind of stuff. But again, I'm sitting here on this, like, I don't like to charge for these things, and it feels even more disingenuous to then charge parents for kids yoga. Maybe if I offered a free version somewhere, I don't know. The thing is I want to turn this whole Move with Change thing, the whole CAYA community thing, into a nonprofit or a not-for-profit, right? I want to make it something that we can continue offering everything for free so that people can really receive the stuff that they need. But I gotta pay the bills. So, I don't know. Badass Blind Woman, you love to assist? Awesome, thank you. Yeah, but I'd love that. Spooky Divergent, you're trying to figure out a similar issue. How to sustain without compromising ethics. Dang. You know, I think as we transition collectively into a new paradigm, that's what we're going through right now. You can call it ascension, you can call it evolution, you can call it revolution, you can call it whatever you want to. We're shifting into a different paradigm. Why? Because the old paradigm is not working anymore. It's outdated, it's dying, it's doing its thing. Thank you, Spooky Divergent. Nice to see you. You figured out a way to do that? Because you were struggling with the ethics part too, with healing. Yeah. So, I don't know what I was saying. Or just the ethics of it. Oh, paradigm shifting. We're shifting to a different paradigm. We're creating a new paradigm, and it's going to take a couple generations, right? For as it has been, and so I'd really like to, especially as a mom, right? As a mom of a young kid, I'd really like to show my child that there is another way to live life rather than to be beholden to the machine, to be, you know, fed scraps in return kind of thing. I had somebody recently, I've had people tell me, because I homeschool and we travel a lot, I've had people tell me that I'm doing him a disservice because he needs to get used to the real world. And I often chuckle, because I'm like, really? The real world? You mean where people are suffering, unhealthy, don't have the support systems they need, don't have the financial security that they need, you know, struggle with basic needs, basic health? That's not the real world at all. And I'm not interested in telling him that he needs to be a slave to it. And I encourage any parent who feels that in their heart to really hold tight to that. The delay is intense. The real world is programming. I know. I was like, when people say it, it kind of makes me go, you're in the box, man. You got your head in the box, and that's okay. You know, if living in the box sustains you, then live inside of a box, man. It's safe in there. I'm not going to pull you out of there if it feels good. Maybe she's too protected. Yeah, my son a little bit too, I think. But she's in her own box, right? Hey, Madman, how are you? Just talking about the paradigm shift. But as we do this, these are the things that we need to collectively start to talk about. We collectively start to think about and share with each other. Like, how do we get our basic needs met without being a slave to a system that's not serving us? Yes! Well said, Spooky Divergent. I do want my kids to be able to survive in the world, but that doesn't require absorbing the narrative. Yes. During this time, in fact, Regal Poison, you posted something the other day where it's like, it's okay to feel lost, right? When you think about this, you are exploring, we are collectively exploring totally new territory. That's rad. Like, maybe in our evolution somewhere along the way, we've been through something really similar, but for all intents and purposes, in our collective knowledge, this is the first time. This is new. This is, of course you're going to feel lost. Where's the map? Who has a map? Who knows how to structure society in a way that's not capitalism? That's not something that just feeds off, right? We live in a supply and demand system, which means they supply the demand. They create and supply the demand through marketing, through advertising, and they manipulate you into purchasing, into thinking that you need these things. I've been studying marketing manipulation since the 90s and watching it get more and more and more manipulative, more and more severe, and also more and more like smack you in the face. Just do it. It's what's for dinner. I'm like, we're literally being inundated with information, and some of us are taking that just at face value without any inner reflection and asking, well, is that really for me? Is this really what I want? Or because it's just accepted and normal that we just go with the flow of what people are doing. It's just what you have to do. You have to go get a 9-to-5. You have to rent an apartment that's way too pricey. You have to do this. You have to send your kids to school. You have to eat the shitty food. No, you don't. And as long as we keep saying, okay, then that's going to keep perpetuating. One of my favorite ways to, be radical, I guess, is to just remove myself from the things I don't approve of, from the things I don't condone. Not give it my time, not give it my attention, not give it my energy, not give it my money. In some ways, do we have to sometimes? Yeah. Do I have to pay to platforms and companies that I don't approve of? Yeah. But we slowly walk ourselves out of this together. Wellness Integrated Solutions. Thing is, we do know how to do it. It's been done before. And some of us barter, grow our own food, that kind of stuff. Yep. Oh my gosh. Spooky Divergent, that was a really good, okay, so you say, it was coming in as a stepdad and watching kids shows that the scale of horror hit. Okay, so with my son, I specifically, when he was growing up, right, we didn't do a lot of TV when he was very young, but once I started kind of letting him watch different things, I noticed that like the attitudes of the way that the kids talk to each other, or the way the characters talk to each other, like it's divisive, it's rude. A perfect example is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus some of the newer versions, right? You guys remember the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those guys were like brothers. Yes, they bickered a bit, but they always had each other's back. They always worked together, and they always solved whatever was going on. They were a team, they were a family, and they cared about each other, and you saw it. And you heard it, saw it. It was all through the show. If you watch some of the newer versions, they're mean. And I remember saying to my son, do teams work like that? Do you think that's how a team's supposed to work, right? And he's probably like 4 or 5. He's like, no. Yeah. So luckily he gets to be raised on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and like a bunch of the older versions of shows and stuff like that. Because I'm like, you know what? I know they have their own problems too. But I really like to it's plain as day when you know what to look for. The emotional manipulation, the psychological manipulation. Hear this. We have mirror neurons in our brains. Mirror neurons work to... Mirror neurons essentially give us the ability to experience something as if it's our own. So if I am... let me get the information in the right order so it makes sense. The pirates are mutiny this morning. Okay. The brain stores memories, dreams, our own experiences, other people's experiences, movies, all of that stuff gets stored essentially the same way in the brain. That's why when you and your sister joke about what happened when you were a kid, you guys can remember the same event, but remember it differently, right? And you're like, nuh-uh, it was me who did it. Nuh-uh, it was you who broke it. Nuh-uh, right? We can't quite be sure sometimes because the brain literally stores, who doesn't matter who did it. The brain stores it as our experience. So, and from a really early age, up until the age of 8 or so, your brain is almost always in the theta brainwave state. The brain doesn't fully come out of the theta brainwaves, which is the dream time. That's REM sleep. Children are in the brainwave state of REM sleep consistently until the age of 8. Then they come completely. Then it's not like a whew, transition. It's a slowly waking kind of thing, right? But think about how much they're absorbing with those mirror neurons, and it's part of the enculturation process. Every human does it. We are, yes, sponges absorbing everything we know, and all that we absorb becomes who we are, what we believe, and what we see in the world. It's programming. And if you want to talk about nefarious or not, we don't have to. The fact is that we've all been programmed by the things that we've received, by all that information that came in when we were young. Spooky Divergent, have a great day. I like that quote. Superpowers don't make a hero. Villains have superpowers too. It's what they do with them. You know, I use that a little bit to talk to my son about a variety of things, but essentially, you know, the difference between a hero and a villain is who they are when no one's watching. It's not about whether or not they have superpowers, right? It's about who they choose to be when no one's watching. Because that's who they truly are, right? And a hero, someone brave, truly brave, is going to choose to do the right thing, even if it's scary, even if it's difficult. Not even about superpowers. You can be a hero without superpowers, but being able to make those choices, having the strength to make those choices, that is a superpower. Integrity, personal responsibility. Madman, I'd love to hear your theory on it. Are you in our Discord? Come into the Discord, or send me a message. I'd love to hear it. Integrity, personal responsibility. I love semantics, right? Responsibility is just my ability to respond. It's my ability to respond to internal and external stimuli. Which then I argue with myself about and say, there is no external stimuli. Shh. All that we experience is what we experience inside of ourselves. So the only thing I have to be responsible for, the only thing I can be responsible for, is what happens inside of me. Badass blind woman. I used to observe people for a living, and the amount of integrity that I witnessed was very few and far between. I think that's a the culture does not encourage integrity. I mean, look at the even like we were talking about the shows, you know, the different kinds of shows and video games and whatnot, and even social media, and you know, we don't have to be responsible. We don't have to have integrity, right? We can create a burner account and go do whatever the hell we want. It's the Ring of Gyja's story of like, if there was no consequence for our actions, would we still choose morality? I do believe that we would. However, as a culture, we've been conditioned away from it. We've been conditioned by reward and punishment, external reward and punishment, not personal responsibility, not personal integrity, not the intrinsic value of doing the right thing or doing what's right in the moment, right? Doing what needs to be done. But instead, only doing it so you can get a reward outside of yourself. That means that if no one's watching, you're free to do whatever. There's no consequence. Fuck it. That's what we breed when we use that reward and punishment. Madman Hat, come into the Discord. And we're going to go super deep next year in all the energy body stuff. Madman, actually, I need some folks who have the time to commit to assisting me next year in sharing and creating content. And if you, and I know a couple of people have asked about apprenticeship or that kind of stuff, and if you want to start working with me, the best way to do it is to start helping me create content, because that's where all the information is, and that's the primary focus, right, of what we're doing, is sharing this, creating the content and getting it out there and sharing it. Yes, I do the live so that we can chat about the theory, chat about the other stuff, and I can answer questions. We will, remember, next year we're going to have Monday through Thursday 30-minute classes in Zoom, so we can create a nice safe atmosphere for us to all gather and practice. And then I will come to social media for the Q&A pieces, and then we'll have our Friday class too. How does Discord work? So Discord is an app. It's a community platform that okay, you got to get in there. You download the app and you can go to patreon.com/move-a-change. There is a free link. If you go to Patreon and you find the post that's got the link, you click on that link and it'll prompt you to open or to download the app. And then you just make your little account and that'll send you right to my community. You've got to go through a little, like, here's the community guidelines, click a check mark or a thumbs up button to approve the message, right? Say, yes, I agree. And then you'll get into the Discord. If you get into the Discord and you don't see like any channels, you see like 1 or 2 channels, that means you didn't click the thumbs up emoji. So you got to go back to the welcome feed. And if you have any questions, you can always send me a message. If you need any help, you can totally send me a message. If you can't find Patreon for some reason, you can just send me a message and I'll send you the link directly to get there. Badass blind woman, I love you. Come in. If a blind girl can figure it out, so can you. Oh, I love you. Okay, so send me a message and I'll send you the link, or go to patreon.com, because you should be a free member over there anyway. I do post stuff over there and there's fun little things there too. You can also grab memberships there. So if you want to join group coaching or if you want private coaching, all of those options are there too. But I need support in creating all this content next year. So if you are interested in apprenticing or that kind of thing, and you have the time to commit to something like that, and I say commit loosely because I am not a hard like driver, you know what I mean? Like that Virgo self is learning to sit in the back seat. But I do want to make sure that we get this stuff out there, and there's a lot of content to create. Awesome. Okay. What was the other thing in the Discord? Oh, so next year we're going to do those Zoom the classes are in Zoom. The link for Zoom, you don't even have to join the Discord, because the link for the Zoom classes is also on Patreon and will stay on Patreon too. At any point, like I said, in the Zoom classes, if you just want to grab that link from Patreon and come join the Zoom class, you won't disturb us at any point. It starts at 10 a.m. and we end at 10:30-ish. We are already doing these, so if you want to come join us Monday through Thursday to practice the mudra, right now we're just doing mudra and mantra, but next year that Monday through Thursday class is where I'm going to share. So Monday, this is how I have it right now scheduled. It might shift, but Monday we're going to practice a mudra with a mantra. On Tuesday we're going to practice pranayama with a sound or a frequency to go with that. Remember, each month it's going to be about different layers of the body, so different chakras, different layers of the energy body, that kind of stuff. Monday, mudra and mantra. Tuesday, pranayama and a sound or frequency. Wednesday, we'll do asanas with a visualization. That means you can pull out your yoga mat. We're only going to do like 3 or so at a time. We're not talking about a huge yoga flow. We're talking about just a couple of poses that help support that part of the energy body. Thursday, we will do an energy healing technique, which in a lot of cases will be Reiki hand positions or other energy healing techniques. And then Friday, we do our tiny yoga. We'll always be live on social media until I get a wild hair and that changes, but I'll always let you know. And I will also share content about herb and stone pairings, recipes, and nutrition tips to deal, again, with all the layers of the self. Okay. Hold on really quick. So all of that is going out next year. So I need help creating the templates for that. I need help filming them if you want to film some. Like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be my face. If you know how to do some of these practices, or if you want to be the one who handles the stone and herb pairings, I already have them all listed for the entirety of next year. So I'm really excited to get this content out. Remember that I will be posting on TikTok, and I'm also going to be posting more, all of this on YouTube too. I know you can't download from YouTube. I want you guys to have access to it so you can download the information. YouTube doesn't allow that unless you pay them, and that's the antithesis, right? It's the opposite of us doing this stuff for free. So TikTok right now is one of the main places where you can download the information, where you can download the videos, and I can respond in video form for comments. I am going to be looking for another platform somewhere else to allocate all of this content to. Patreon doesn't have the space for it. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but we're going to put it somewhere. You can with the right app. Yeah. I mean, I've been looking honestly at like courses and things like that. Like Teachable, Thinkific, but a lot of these are platforms that charge me $40, $80, $150 a month to create a like community teachable platform kind of thing, or create courses or create content, and I don't want to be doing that. I want you to have the information for free. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let me check on my son really quick. Let me make sure he is up and getting ready for his class. Un momento. I'm so glad you did. Did it start going?
It needs battery.
Okay, what kind of batteries?
Double A.
Double A? Perfect. We have double A's.
Yup.
Perfect.
It needs 2 double A batteries.
Okay, will you get yourself a little bit of breakfast?
Yes.
There's some boiled eggs in the fridge. You want them. I need you to have a little something before class. Before you do PE. Right?
Okay.
Oof. If only the God money was a king. That's it. You know, I'd really like, yes, I've got to pay the bills. So I deeply appreciate anybody who actually, you know, pays for a subscription of some kind. Or I do have subscription levels that are just like $11 a month or $5 a month and stuff like that, just as a means to support the free educational content. Is my son homeschooled? Yes, he is. Yeah, we're trying a different version this year. We are doing an online public school, which is, he's not there like all day long each day. It's a different, so he has like small blocks of classes, a couple of things he can choose to do or not at all. But he likes to sit. He gets the opportunity to sit with the teachers and other kids and whatnot. And then I supplement on top of that with another platform called OutSchool, because they have amazing classes. Right now he's taking a class on Wednesday nights on learning how to code by using Minecraft. And then today he has Pokemon PE. So we might hear him jumping around out there in a minute. And then this evening he has a Pokemon escape room class with a friend. Madman Hat. Well, I am also cultivating in-person community. So if anybody is interested in moving to Oregon and building community and with intention and practicing, basically, we're building community in person so that we can actually put to practice the things that are going to build the new paradigm, right? That are supporting the shifts that we want to. Things like barter, right? Things like inclusive practices rather than exclusive practices. So if somebody has, a disagreement in the community, we come together and help solve together, not push somebody out. So very interested. Send me a message. Come into the Discord. And that's what I was saying earlier. As we shift into this new paradigm, we really have to try to imagine things differently. Can you imagine if instead of having a life where you've got to do the 9 to 5, right? But instead you were able to engage with the community and when you really could, and you also had people supporting you so that you didn't feel so exhausted every single day, and you actually had more energy to commit to or to give to the community. Imagine people being able to try out different tasks until they find the thing they're like, wow, I didn't know I loved swinging a hammer and nail, or maybe I didn't realize I loved cooking so much. And, or you want to get into herbs and you end up, becoming our little herbal person in the community. Jen's still looking for your community too. It's a dream that I think it's something we've been talking about for a long time. I was born in the 80s, and it's something that I, myself, and other people I know have been talking about since I can remember. I've tried living in several other communities, and I'll tell you one of the first things that I have found is that a lot of them are just cookie cutter versions of the larger community. Oh, you have to either pay rent to live here, right? Or you have to pay several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sometimes you have to buy the property, you have to buy the house, whatnot. And I understand how those things work and why. Or you have to work 40 hours a week so that you can stay here, that kind of stuff. They just seem to be doing the same thing that the culture is doing. Hey, Charity. Waiting for closer to spring to sell my house, but everything is gone inside. You know what? There's actually a lot seemingly happening in the spring. I'm hearing a lot of people who are like, oh, springtime I'll be ready. Springtime this is changing. Springtime I'll be doing this. Like Vada said earlier, 2025 is our year, you guys. 2025. I think one of the most important pieces, many of us want to be in community. Right? And I'm trying to figure out, and are trying to figure out how to be in community. In my in and out of different communities for so many years, and trying to kind of create my own as well, I've come to realize that the most important trait or the most important skill it's not even a skill. The most important thing is a willingness to take personal responsibility, is a curiosity about the value of other humans, especially the ones we don't agree with, is the bravery to try something that seems maybe totally crazy compared to what we've always known. It's the same philosophy as we work with here in the CAYA community. If you have value, then so do I. If I have value, then so do you. There's no way, right, for me to be right in the world and good and perfect and miraculous and all these things, and for you not to be. That divisive rhetoric is what has kept us weak, what has kept us separate, what has kept us lonely, what has kept us in suffering, perpetuating that suffering. The divisiveness, the infighting, the this or that thinking. You know, when we're little, we first learn to use what's called gross motor skills. That means I learned to move my whole arm before I learned to pick up little things with my fingers. The brain is the same. We learn to make huge this or that decisions, right? When you're little, you're either hungry or you're not. You're tired or you're not. It's daylight or it's night. As we grow older, we enlighten our systems, our minds, by realizing that there's actually subtlety in between day and night. And ideally, we want to continue refining our thought process, our mind, and our energy so that we can really get down to the fine details of our reality. Unfortunately, again, the culture doesn't support that. Social media and the marketing stuff really pushes this either or, this or that, good or bad. It doesn't ask you to think about the subtlety. It doesn't ask you to see the, actually a great example was that someone came in last week when we were on the live and said that there is only one truth, right? There are universal truths, basically. There's no such thing as personal. You can't have personal truth, this individual said. And I kind of chuckled with this, like, okay, all right, I'll give you that. Most of us can look in the sky and see that there is an object up there, that moon or sun. I know that both of these are very controversial right now. I can look up there and we can all generally agree that that's a sun. That's a moon. Okay, I'll give you that that is a truth that most of us can agree on, right? The way I see it, literally with my physical eyes, is unique to the shape of my cornea, is unique to my eye itself. The way I receive the information about the moon and the sun, and the way that I think about it, the way I know it, the way I, okay, I'll tell you a really good example. That's an actual real-time example of this one. Okay. These are our personal truths. I was walking in the dark with a friend of mine from Brazil. We were over in the Netherlands and we were walking through a little dark little neighborhood out in the middle of nowhere. And we were talking to each other, looking up at the sky, beautiful, bright sky, stars everywhere, big, well, it wasn't, it was a big moon. So it must have been real, yeah. Anyway, big old full moon. I remember it was a full moon because it's important. As we were walking, I look up at the moon and I saw the face, as we do, the face in the moon, right? And I started telling her a story about this one time that I started singing a song about the man in the moon, and I got myself in trouble because I was just being a silly teenager and whatever. And she stops and looks at me. She goes, "The man in the moon? What are you talking about?" Now, her and I can both agree that that's a moon, correct? That's a truth. But I was like, what do you, I mean, the face, like you can see the face. And she looks up at the moon and she looks back at me and she looks up at the moon and she goes, "That's a knight slaying a dragon." What did you just say? No, there's a face in that moon. Where do you get a knight slaying a dragon? What are you talking about? We stood there for I don't know how long, where she was trying to explain to me how to see the knight and the dragon. My whole top of my head just fucking exploded. And then I later learned that also in the east, there's also a rabbit on the moon. There's also a rabbit in the moon. You know what I was doing last night? I was looking at the moon because we have it's almost full. I was looking at the moon in this direction and I saw the face in the moon. And then I did this silly thing and went like this and looked upside down at the moon and I saw the rabbit. And then I switched to the side and I was like, aha, there's the knight and the dragon. We very much have personal truths. In fact, the only truth we ever really can experience is our personal truth. Because everything about this world that I experience inside of me. Oh, but I can hear the sounds of things outside of me. Sure. But where do you hear it? Do you hear it over there? No, you hear it because of the vibration of your eardrum and the little hairs in your ear and all that stuff. Yeah, I can pirates. Beware the pirates. I can see the things outside of me. But where do I see them? In the reflection of my eye and the way my brain receives the information. Everything I experience, even the things I touch. The touch one is really one of my favorites because we go, but it's real because I can touch it, right? It must be real because I can touch it. But what am I feeling? What am I feeling? The sensation inside of my hand. And the only way I can feel this thing is on the part that I'm touching. Inside of my hand. When you and I hold hands, the only thing that I'm experiencing of holding your hand is the way that it feels in my hand. The way that you look in my eyes and in my mind. This is why what we tell ourselves and what we believe and what we perceive about the world is so important to take a look at. So important to spend a few moments examining, hey, what are my thoughts about the world? What are my beliefs about them? Because they are going to color the interpretation of the stimuli that's coming in, that I'm experiencing inside of myself. That is about personal responsibility. To be responsible, I am able to respond rather than react. Hey Wyatt, how are you? Wyatt James. I like your name. Shift your perspective and you truly shift your reality. We have science to back it up. Quantum mechanics, quantum physics, right, tells us that our attention, that time and space are relative to light. What is light? Our attention, consciousness. And in fact, my attention is very much like a flashlight. That which I shine it on is all that I'm paying attention to, is all that I'm giving my attention, is all the information I'm receiving. If I try to spread my attention out, what happens with a flashlight? When you zoom that flashlight in, what happens? It gets really bright, right? If you have one of those cool flashlights that does this thing, you know what I'm talking about. It gets real bright. Now, when I open it up, what happens? It dims, doesn't it? When I try to spread my attention to all of these different things, I give less of my attention to all of them. When I focus my attention, I have much more perception available to me. Madman Hat, what about string theory? I want to live in quantum physics world. I again, in another iteration, I became like a science nerd, right? That's another like version of sliding doors of my reality. I'm also an actress over here and a president over there and all the other stuff, you know. This is why it's important. Thank you for the follow, friend. To cultivate your attention. And what do we have out in the world but a million things trying to pull our attention away, even designed to harvest our attention, to take our attention. These little screen pocket computer things and phones and screens and the socials and the things, and man, they are literally made to keep your attention here. My. Why? Why would all of this stuff be created to keep our attention on it? What's the purpose? That which we give or pay our attention to. You want to know your most valuable resource? Your attention. If they have your attention, they can get you to buy a thing, get you to believe a thing, shift the way you see the world. Leb, it's no coincidence that we use the word pay attention. I've been thinking about that a lot more lately and really shifting my speak about it, the way that I say it. William, what you are saying is why it's so unfair to force children into religion and other indoctrination. If only, can we imagine a world in which we perceive our children as the arrow and ourselves the bow? That our responsibility as shepherds of the next generation is to propel them forward, not hold them back. Time moves, the illusion of time, but it's still there, in that direction, not backwards. Can you imagine a world where, as parents, as adults, we looked to the children to guide us into the future? Because that's their job, that's what they're doing. You must be a fan of, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that person is. It's actually a part of a poem by Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran writes a poem, I think it's called On Children, and essentially he says he says the responsibility of the parent is to recognize that they are the bow and the child is the arrow, and it's the responsibility of the parent to bend as far as they can to release that child into the future, to propel that child into the future, and if anything, we should hope to be in their image, not to make them into ours. Because time does not move backwards. William, just because we were taught a certain way doesn't make it right. And this is about personal responsibility. If we take the things that we are given at face value, never questioning, never even examining whether or not they fit us. I like the analogy of saying it's like accepting every single gift that anybody ever gives you. You know, what if somebody gives you a pink itchy sweater? I always use the analogy, right? It's my pink itchy sweater that's way too small, doesn't fit, feels gross, but I'm in it and I'm saying, yeah, it's what I'm supposed to wear. Why do I feel uncomfortable? Because not everybody fits in a size small, extra small, pink, itchy sweater. Not everybody wants one. Some of us don't mind itchy sweaters. But we just take these things that we're given without examination. When we do that, we're just puppets. When we do that, we are not being personally responsible. Now, if you decide to keep the things you're given, that's up to you. I encourage you to make that conscious choice. You okay?
Yes.
Glad you're here too, Daniel. Yes, Juliana the Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I haven't read the whole book, but it's on my list. We talk in here, you'll hear me say a lot in here. that you are your own guru. And what I mean by that is simply you have an inner captain. You have an inner compass. When we use that inner compass to decide what's for us and what's not, to help us make conscious, intentional choices, we become our own guru. What does guru mean? Guru simply means that which leads you from darkness to light. Guru, darkness to light. And even if you find a guru outside of yourself who teaches you all the things you want to know and tells you all the practices and guides you through them, when that guru tells you to close your eyes and focus your attention on the tip of your nose, can your guru get inside and shine your attention light on the tip of your nose? No. Only you can. In fact, there's a mantra that we use, which simply means I honor the guru, the lineage of gurus from which I received the information outside of me, and I honor the guru within, because as I was saying earlier, you can have all of the information up here, but we use our guru to decide how to use it and whether or not it's for us. William, I was indoctrinated as a child and found out different, and it really upset me. It's manipulation. It is a form of manipulation. Now, as parents, we give our children the best that we hope, right? We hope to give them the best that we can. And that's why I also really encourage everyone to let go of the blame, right? Our parents were indoctrinated, their parents were indoctrinated. It's called the enculturation process. We all go through it, and it sucks, but it's not a death sentence. It is our personal responsibility to then examine these things. I grew up Catholic. That says it all. I grew up Catholic, and I thought I wanted to be a nun because I felt I had very early, very powerful spiritual experiences. I was taken out of body during really violent things that occurred when I was a child. Really, yeah. Hi, sir. And a lot of other things. So I'm grateful for my journey because I did leave the church and I left God entirely. I was really mad. I was really mad. And it took me some years to come back. Once I started to let go of the blame, of the ways that my parents manipulated scripture, the way that the world manipulates it to turn it into a weapon, and I found source inside of it. It was actually through expanding my understanding, studying different perspectives, that I suddenly started to see the deeper connective tissue in all of the belief systems. And also the way that religion is oftentimes used as a means of control. Now, again, I'm not going to say that if you choose a very religious, devout, kind of life, that it's wrong, because it's not. Your experience is your choice. We give away our power when we tell ourselves that we are being victimized, that we are victims. Now, again, yes, obviously there are things that can happen to us that we don't control, that we can't control. But there is a peace, there is an energy, there is a self that no one else can touch. And that is that inner guru. That is that inner captain. That is what we use all of these tools in here, what we use mindfulness to find. Because when I cultivate that inner captain, when I find and start to become what I call the first mate to my inner captain, we have the ability to change our world entirely. I know sometimes these sound like big sweeping statements. I know sometimes they sound like trite things. Danielle, victim into survivor, warrior, guru. Yeah. Perspective is key. I know sometimes these sound like big, trite statements, right? You've heard it before. When you're angry, take some deep breaths. But how many of us go, fine, I took my breaths. We can be so attached to finite things, to finite experiences, to finite emotions. Plantastic. I like the term inner captain. Better guru has mainly bad associations. So, friends, just to inform you, you'll hear a lot about my pirates in here. And when I talk about my pirates, I'm actually referring to what's called internal family systems. I'm a storyteller and a writer. I almost said an author. Ooh, yeah. And a writer. So in my personal exploration, trying to understand myself, I recognized that there were different facets of me, right? And those facets showed up in all these different ways. And so as a thespian too, I gave these characters, these different facets, names. And I'd imagine them differently in my head. Imagine, a stereotype, basically, of these different energies that I had. Just like, I'll go to dinner with my parents and I behave one way versus when I'm, out to dinner with my partner, or out drinking with my friends, or in bed with my, who knows? Like, we all have these different ways that we show up. Is it disingenuous because some are not us, right? We're faking these things? No, they're just different facets of self, right? You don't show up to work the same way you show up to a party. We understand that. So in my storytelling and exploration of these parts, I started to envision them as a ship full of pirates. The analogy for me, oftentimes, my life for me has felt like I was in a boat. It works really well, especially when you feel like you're in the middle of the ocean with no oars and there's a storm blowing through, right? So this has been my platform, my analogy, right, for a long time. And the pirates naturally evolved. They naturally began to evolve, starting from my, the saying of having an angel and devil on the shoulder, right? We know this culturally. We have a kind of sayings about it. So for me, I named them Hell and Hope. And my first experience of these pirates was Hell and Hope. My yang energy and my yin energy. And then the rest of the crew started to emerge. Different aspects, inner child, inner parents, right? Inner guides, inner strong characters, and inner victims and demons and all this stuff. All the different aspects of self started to become different characters on my ship. It was a way to shift from saying, I am depressed. I am angry. I am anxious. I am. We use that statement, right? We use that statement as a very powerful claim of self. I am. I am perpetual. That's not temporal. I am this thing. I embody this thing. It is me. I am anger. That's different than saying, ooh, I'm feeling depression. Walking with me today. Depression for me lives in my bed. I often go to sleep beside her and wake up beside her. And sometimes I give her extra snuggles in the morning because she needs it. Anxiety is a friend of mine that goes out in public with me every time I get in that car. Not every time. Seeing them this way allows me to then negotiate with them, to have conversations with them. So when anxiety grips my gut and grabs me by the throat before we go in the grocery store, I can say, wow, like I would to a friend. And turn to that part of me and say, what do you need? Can I help you? Can I support you? And we can negotiate the energy. We can negotiate the task. William, do I still believe in a heaven and hell doctrine? No. I understand now that we create our reality. That we are constantly manifesting. I used to think manifestation was something like way far out and complicated. It's not. It's what you're already doing all the time. Through the interaction of our beliefs and our reactions and our perceptions about the world. Charity, I'm not depressed, but I do feel depressed. Laugh out loud. I feel anxious leaving my home. Yeah. I like to just put them as a character that rides with me in the car, you know? So, sir. Lay down, and I'll pet you if you lay down. I stopped petting him. Woohoo, Thor! I am getting creative with my anger management and expressions. Nice! So what do we do when we do this? When we create a character like that, right? We make it easier. Hey, Eric, how are you? We make it easier for us to step outside of the emotion, right? It's the difference between saying I am angry versus I am feeling angry in the moment. This immediately shifts it to a permanent thing. I embody it, it is who I am, versus this is a passing experience. Fantastic, you're getting snugs too? Nice. This is a passing experience, like a fart, like a belch. That's right. Your emotions now, you will forever think of them as farts and belches. They are temporal. They're not meant to be stored back in the body. They're not meant to be held in. Eric, I'm so sorry to hear that you're experiencing sadness and loss right now. If you'd like it, I'd love to give you a hug. And anybody else who'd like to join us in a big group hug, sending love and healing to our friend Eric here, and anyone else who needs it, who wants to join in, you're in. He's just experiencing it. Oh, well, still, let's give a big hug, huh? What do you say? Hold on, Ajna's, he might have to be involved in the hug. There you go. There you go. Okay. Reach the arms out nice and wide. Wrap them in big, 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 all the way around, nice and tight. My favorite thing to do here is to close my eyes and dip my head towards my shoulder. And rock just a little bit. Opening my heart, feeling my heartbeat as if my heart is pressed up against someone else's. That same beat that I'm feeling in my heart is the same sensation I would be feeling if someone else's heart was pressed into my chest. We breathe big. Offer compassion, offer grace, offer presence. Offer the space for the emotions that arise to be whatever they are going to be in this moment. And for you to feel held and validated in them. I love you so much, my friend. Thank you for sharing a hug with me. Squeeze. Oh, thank you guys for the love and appreciation. Hey, Courtney, how are you? Did you want a hug? Do you need a hug? Come here. Come here. Sit. A good dog squeeze. It's a good dog squeeze. Whoosh, woof. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Thank us. Jen, I stopped spackling to hug. Yay! Oh, I love you guys. All right. Oh, our timer's not quite done yet. Look at this. Oh, I moved it out of the screen. You guys couldn't see it. I was cheating. May the transition be smooth. May you and she and all of you involved find grace and the space to just be with it. Majestic Rose, I love you too. Aw, William. I'm glad you joined us for a hug. You know what, Eric? I'd like to ask you, actually, and it reminds me again, if you guys can see the trolls back here. You see the trolls sitting up there? I have a Reiki jar. Every evening at 9 o'clock Pacific time, I send out general Reiki to the collective, and specifically to the individuals who have their names in said jar. If you would like to be in that jar, please send me a message. I'll forget if you put it here in comment, but if you'd like to be added to that jar, and Eric, I'm asking if I can add your mom to that jar, just to ease the transition. So if you would like your name added to the jar, it's completely, glue me to the inside of that jar. You got it. There's people who've been in there for like a year, right? And every single night at 9 o'clock, I was thinking about this the other day because I started that last year. Do you remember that? Eric, you're probably already in the jar. I'll add you again. Let me add you again. Well, this is one of my favorite practices. If you're somebody who practices energy work, I would encourage you to explore creating these energy boxes, or I like sometimes energy houses, right? I love you too. I actually, I saw this individual, this energy healer, who creates little like, they're like birdhouses. Hey, sir. They're like birdhouses, and they put them out in the woods. And then when they want to send Reiki or energy healing, energy to somebody, they go and they put their name in that little house. And the house itself is charged with energy, right? So the more and more and more we use that thing, the more powerful it gets. And same with this jar, right? It's a really cool practice. I've considered creating little like hanging little balls things. I guess they're like decorations for what are they called? What are they called? Ornaments. For that I could leave year round out in the trees and put energy and put names in them so that you guys also get the sun and the moon charging and all that stuff. Majestic Rose, you have a magic box. Yay. Ah, that brings everything I put in it true. Oh, powerful. Nice. Not energy homes. I encourage you to do energy homes. Again, I like the jar. You can't see it from here, but it's a really nice big... Here. I'm not going far. Hold on. Let me... You silly doggo. I'll tell you. I'll share with you guys about this, actually. I'll share. So, there's a couple of pieces to this. And each of them have a purpose. This is the energy jar. It's actually just a really big base, right? Here are all the lovely names inside. And I charge the jar itself and send the energy into the jar itself. While I'm away, these little guys are tasked with protecting the jar. They make sure that nothing else goes in the jar except good energy. And then, I love you too. I love you too, guys. Okay, this is a whalebone. This, yeah. Whales are, they carry information. They send information through song, right? Send messages. So this amplifies the energy in here, making sure it reaches everyone it needs to reach. These two do their job protecting it, and the jar itself maintains the resonance. I do a lot of exploring and bone collecting. Yes, I did find it. And actually the idea was to make it what's the word I'm looking for? A walking stick. Because it's actually a perfect size for me. And I think this is the side. Yeah. With a little hand piece on it. I want to put a handle on it. Yeah. I want to put a handle on it. And I'd like to engrave it. I'll eventually get there. I have actually several other pieces of this as well. I think we have Do I have another one of these big ones? I think this is the only big one I got. And then I also have this. From the same individual. Oops, I gotta move my Buddha. I know you're gonna find it really, you're gonna crack up. Go ahead, it's okay to laugh. It makes a nice meditation seat. It makes a nice meditation seat. And when I saw this, I thought to myself, oh, what a way to connect to that energy. I know, I thought it was a pelvic bone too, right? I'm like, but it can't be. It's a vertebra. I'm pretty sure. Do I need a Dremel? I have a Dremel. I just need to actually get myself to do it. I have an enormous amount of like arts and crafts stuff that I just need to create the time for myself. I need to use the time for myself to do these things. Through the root chakra. It's epic, right? When I first found this 2 years ago, it was my meditation seat all the time. I'd sit on this every day to meditate. I do have another similar bone, so if somebody would like to come sit and meditate on the whale bones with me. But I collect all kinds. I typically create things like that. I typically create things usually for somebody. I do work with leather. I work with bones. I work with a bunch of other mediums. And I really just create something when I feel inspired to do so. I make malas as well. And some of you lovelies have received some of those malas. Man hat. That's it. That does it. I will be there now. Good. Come join me. Come join me. Let's put into practice these things that we're learning and be radically willing to meet each other vulnerably, authentically every single day. Be so absurdly obtuse that we decide to be authentic, and we learn how to be authentic by navigating that in real time every day, because we're creating safe space to do that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be authentic, but it's really hard. How do I trust? I don't know how to, be authentic or true to myself or speak my truth if I can't trust the world. And a lot of us have very, very good reason not to trust the world. Our brains have a lot of evidence as to why we should be closed off, as to why we should push others away, as to why we should hide our truth. But all we're doing is perpetuating our imbalances. And those imbalances cause our triggers, make our ego characters, and usually perpetuate our suffering. And again, for so many years, I spoke about this from that trite, I know the thing kind of thing. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I truly started applying these things, because honestly, I was so in the dirt, face down. I had no spoons to fake it anymore. You been there? I had no spoons to pretend to be anyone else. Ooh, Eric, that'd be wonderful. Thank you, friend. William says, I have a problem getting rid of anger, because the anger is not meant to be gotten rid of. It's meant to be... Okay, wait. Let's talk about this. Charity, are you the one who's up in Washington? Idaho, okay. Weren't we talking before? You guys have the off-grid thing going on up there. Okay. So William, I wanted to pin this and talk about this at length for a minute here. So the reactive emotions that we experience are energy patterns that get built into through practice again and again and again. When my energy, let's say my solar plexus energy, This is about self-confidence. This is my ability to interact with the world. This is my center for autonomy versus or for industry. Industry versus, yes, my ability to interact with the world versus inferiority. That's the social emotional development stage that matches our solar plexus. So as I'm growing, this area we develop and settles into its pattern around the ages of, like, let's see, 0 to 6 months with the root, about 6 months to 18 months or so with the sacral, from about 18 months to 4 or 5 years or so, the solar plexus is developing. The heart does start a bit earlier, but generally settles between the ages of 5 and 6, 7. The throat develops between 6, 7 to like 9 or so, right? So each of these chakras, each of these energy centers, when we're born, we're this big ball of energy, nice, wide, and open, receiving information and interacting with that information, integrating that information into how my energy is going to move. At the root, if this is about safety, just basic safety, and do I have a right to exist in this life? If I get trauma during those first 6 months or in utero that tells me that it's not safe to be in my body, what happens to that energy? The energy says, no, it's not safe to be balanced here and to express this root chakra energy, to ground into the earth. So what does it do instead? It moves up. Because what's the next chakra about? This is about whether or not the universe is going to meet my needs. This is, if I ask for help, will I receive? Can I just be fed and cared for because I exist? Is the universe going to be soft and compassionate? Right? Can I experience pleasure? Can I share with others? Can I cuddle and snuggle? There's a lot of beautiful things about this space too. And therefore, if we receive information during this stage of development that says it's not safe to do those things or receive those things, or if I cry, the universe is not going to meet my needs. When I'm hungry, am I fed kind of stuff? What does the energy do? It moves up here. Why? Because then the solar plexus says, I can go get it myself. If I don't feel safe, I can make myself safe. I can protect myself. If I can't get my needs met, I can go get them met myself. A lot of us stop here. Or at least a lot of us pull a lot of that energy up here. And then we have a cultural narrative that we say, oh, the terrible twos. Why? Because it's the first time we're fully expressing getting our needs met and protecting ourselves. Oftentimes in a world that says, no, 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 you're not right and good just being alive. No, 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 you can't have your needs met when you want. You have to feed on a schedule. You have to sleep by yourself and cry for as long as whatever you need. Like, there's a lot of cultural things. I'm not saying this for shame or blame or guilt or anything, so let it go. Drop it right now. It's just how it is. But we are wiser now because we know about it and because we can redirect that energy. So what happens? What happens is that if this is the first place that we feel powerful and safe, then there's no reason for us to move the energy much, right? In fact, we can talk about stereotypes, gender stereotypes in our culture, that oftentimes it's okay for little boys to be much more forceful. But say you're a little girl and you try to do this demanding thing, girls don't behave that way. You're not allowed to do that. So we pull it up here. And then this is how we start to develop a stereotypical masculine feminine energy. These big, open, heart, let me just take care of everybody, let me just martyr and give away and let me just give everything I have. Let me care about everybody else because that's the only way I can feel safe, right? When I was a little girl, this is what happened. I was not allowed to have that energy. I was not allowed to get my needs met. I was not safe in my body. But when I started taking care of other people and showing compassion for everybody else's needs and wants and energy, now I was validated. Now I was safe. Now I got my needs met. Okay. Remember, my brain is still in the theta brainwaves, the REM sleep time during this development. So who is making these decisions? Not my head. I'm not consciously making these choices. My energy body is. My body is. My energy is my ally because it has been trying to keep me safe my entire life. It uses everything at its disposal to keep me safe, even anger. Right? Even shame. It doesn't differentiate between right and wrong, good or bad. It doesn't have judgment. It's just a matter of experience. My brain does not fully come online, prefrontal cortex and all, until I'm in my 20s. During that time, it's my energy body that's deciding how we're going to develop and how we're going to be. From personality traits to speech patterns to beliefs to habits to ego characters. All of this is created by the enculturation process and the way my energy body responds to those experiences. So drop the blame. Your parents would do the same. Every human goes through the same thing. Now, thank you, friend. Now that we're fully online, this is interested in enlightenment, in thriving. This keeps me surviving. This helps me thrive. If I only give authority to this, I'm going to maintain a survival status, even if it's unhealthy, even if it doesn't serve me, even if it hurts other people and me. Because it's what I know and it's what I habitually do. And it's what my system's going to fall back on. If my brain stops, right? My brain goes not unconscious, but if I'm not willing to think about it, examine these things, use that brain energy, cognitive energy to do that, to do anything else, to be present with it, to make choices, then my body's just going to react in the way that it was designed, or the way that it was programmed to do so. It's just going to keep doing those patterns again and again and again until I find consciousness, my attention, my intention, my inner captain, that inner guru who says, yelling at the driver on the road, right, every single time someone cuts me off isn't working. Doesn't help me. I feel like shit afterwards. I'm kind of embarrassed when I do it, right? Do you have triggers that make you feel embarrassed after it happens? Or we talk about William, anger. Anger is one of those that a lot of us stuff back into our bodies. Emotions are belches, farts. They're temporal. They rise and they fall. But if we have an energy habit of using an emotion to keep us safe, it's actually a sign that we're out of balance. That energy, that chakra, is out of balance. It is a trigger. It is a reaction. It is an action that we repeat based on past experiences, not the present moment. If I respond, I am here and now. And if I respond, I can choose my response. I don't choose my reaction. That's built into me to keep me safe. Thank you, my allies. I choose my response. Yes, son? What's up?
I think you got the date wrong on the thing. It says start and then Pokemon Escape Room. I don't feel excited about that.
It's later. It's at 6. Is it 5 or 6?
Okay. It says starts December 20th, 11 a.m. That's when it says the next class is pretty much. And it starts.
I'll look at it, honey. Okay?
Okay.
Give me just my timer's out. So let me finish up this thought, and then I'll come check it out, and we'll eat together. Madman Hat. I'm putting myself through chakra therapy. So this is why all of next year is going through all the layers of the energy body. When we know how our systems work, how they ended up this way, and we can learn this and understand this by dropping blame and shame and all of that stuff and look at it from a practical, like, oh, this is just the way that it happened, so now I have the ability to shift, to change, to make choices, to grow, to heal, to realign, to find balance. But I need the tools to do that. Thank you, Oregon artist. I need the tools to do that. And where are these tools? They're actually all over the place. And I've spent years finding them, gathering them, and now I've got this big old toolbox. But there's a trick to my toolbox. I have tried to sit down and write a book. I have tried to sit down and write a whole manual, right? I've tried to sit down and write a course to teach everybody about these things at length and this whole whatever. And it's like a fog. I can't pull the pieces apart. I can't find what I'm looking for. I can't put it in a linear fashion. It's been really difficult to do. But when I'm walking through the grocery store and somebody, I don't know, says something about something else, right? Asks about this thing. The information comes, I call them my toolbox trolls. I say my toolbox trolls come out and they pull the answer. They pull the tool out. It's like when you guys comment on my content and say, do you have a mudra doodra for this thing, for my nose, for my head, for my thing? I'm dealing with this energy. Do you have a practice for me? My toolbox trolls go, blah, blah, blah. Here you go. So through these classes, through sharing the information, through you guys inspiring me and asking and requesting and whatnot, I have finally been able to put all this information out, to get all of this information out. And I think the most radical thing that we can do, right, is give it all away for free. Yes, I'm going to radicalize you by giving you the tools to fall in love with yourself, to trust yourself, to be fully present with your experience, to make the choices, to decide truly what's right for you, and to align yourself with your truth, with your self-actualized self. What is self-actualization? It is enlightening the system of the truth of self. Enlightenment is not something so complicated and inaccessible. It is the practice of walking yourself from ignorance, of self, of other, of all these things, into understanding, into integrating, into aligning the self with what really aligns with you. Majestic Rose, extreme narcissistic abuse, destroyed everything I was. That's where I was at 3 years ago. I did say I'm going to get off here, so I am going to get off here. But about 3 years ago, I left an extremely traumatic situation where I was gaslit and manipulated harder than I've ever been. I was that person who said, there's no way that can happen to me. And it did. And it took absolutely everything from me. Literally, I ended up having a couple seizures before I left the situation. I was losing my eyesight. I was losing my hearing. Because I was denying my truth so hard. And there was a lot of shame. And there was a lot of guilt. But I had no spoons left to pretend anymore. I didn't even have spoons left, period. But if it wasn't for the fact that I'm a single mom, I might not have gotten up again. It's these practices. It's the simplest of these practices. Next year, I'm going to fill your head with all of the pranayama and the asanas and the mudras and the mantras and all the cool shit. But what I want you to remember is the most important piece is what? My intention, my attention, and meeting everything else with everything that comes up with curiosity and willingness. I align my intention with my attention, and I meet everything that comes up with curiosity and willingness. And this can be applied to every moment, every day, all the time, everything. And the more you do, the more present you are, which means the more capable of being responsible you are. If we're not present, we're reactive. We're living in the past. You don't need to go to the past. Because everything that needs healing, needs your attention, needs your love and care, lives within you right now from the past. You don't need to time travel. It came with you. William, when are you coming on again? Thank you so much. You're very welcome. So, William, I wanted to say, in closing, next time anger grabs you by the belly, right? Or gets your fists all balled up, I invite you to pull that energy out and face it. Not with anger, not with frustration, right? But at the very least, curiosity and willingness. Without having to weaponize the energy, without having to do anything, see if you can take just a moment. Because sometimes all it takes is one little tiny sidestep, and we break the habit. We don't need huge sweeping things. So next time that energy comes up, I encourage you, I invite you to pause, to take a deep breath in and make space for that anger. Welcome it. Hello. I see you again. Hi. And then exhale, giving it permission to speak, giving it permission to leave, giving it permission to be what it needs to be, but it's not on the driver's seat. Reactivity is when we allow our emotions, our past, our programming to take the driver's seat. To be responsible is to recognize that they're not wise enough or skilled enough to drive. We've seen it, right? You let sadness or greed or emotions or whatever, anger or the other things drive, and holy moly, do we end up in a crash or a storm or whatever. So taking responsibility for myself is deciding that I am the one who captains this ship. And my emotions, my energy, they're my allies. My ego, that's my ally. They have been doing the work to keep me safe my entire life. So we don't need to make them walk the plank. We don't need to amputate or starve any of them. Please stop talking about the death of ego. Your ego is your partner, your friend. And when you integrate all of the energies and align them in a way that feels whole and balanced, that's enlightenment. That's self-actualization. And we'll talk forever, all next year, about how to do that, about how we're going to do it. So, remember that we are doing classes right now, Monday through Thursday, 30-minute classes. They start at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and they are in Zoom. Okay, to get the link, you've got to go to patreon.com/movewithchange. If you're in our Discord, the link is in the Discord and gets posted every single day that we go into the Zoom. If you want the link for the Discord, go to patreon.com/movewithchange. If you'd like me to send you the link, you can always just send me a message on some platform. But the best way to get in touch with me, honestly, is through the Discord. So I do check my messages here on TikTok more often than anything else. If you have any questions, comment on my content. It helps me create more. If you need a tool, comment on my content. I can respond to you with a video and make a video for you. If you'd like to join me for coaching, group coaching, private coaching, go to Patreon and grab a membership. If you'd like to just support the work that I do, you can go to Patreon and grab a membership too. I encourage you to support me through Patreon because I encourage you not to support the social media things that are also falsely flagging and taking down the free educational content. The war on information. Come into the Discord, come into the Zoom, so that we can cultivate a safe space where we can truly work with these practices and be authentic in that space without worrying about without this stuff. Okay? Come join our CAYA community. You're already part of it. Come as you are. I love you guys so fucking much. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for the support. Thank you for just being present and for listening to me gab and for watching my shenanigans and for joining me for these classes and for sharing the content. I know you want to go outside. Ah! No, you just want hugs? Okay, all right. Knowledge is power, and this is knowledge. This is information that is consistently being taken down off social media. And the only excuse I can come up with is that they don't want you to have it, is that it's this powerful, that these tools are so important that they shake. They make them shaking their boots. Huh? No, we can't give them their authenticity. We can't give them their self-actualization. We can't give them personal power. Don't let them become personally responsible for themselves. They'll never buy into the bullshit that we sell. It's dangerous. It's radical. Let them tremble. All right, everyone. I love you so much. Thank you again. Come join us in the Discord. Go to the Patreon page, and at the very least, become a free member over there. Remember, there, like I said, you can support me if you'd like to. You can be free. You can go through all of this stuff. Totally free. Are you ready? Okay. No, he's sitting back down. I love you. I love you.